There's blood in the streets. Could this be it? Could this be the washout we've been waiting for? Very exciting. And I got to tell you, I mean, I feel good. I'm enjoying this because Bitcoin, as I had predicted, would outperform. I thought Bitcoin would go lower. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's bounced twice already off 5,800. Let's take a look here. And we got to go further back. Maybe I got to move my head here. Let's keep me up here. So, bounced 5,800, and I guess it's bounced 3 times off 5,800. Are we going to hit it again? So where, if you use that as a metric, this market has had a few washouts. And Bitcoin's above that floor of 5,800. Maybe it comes back to it. Maybe it goes below it. I don't know. But I'm using that as a metric, whereas other coins, if you look at XRP, it's been a stairway down. It hasn't bounced off a low 3 times. We'll get to that. So I think Bitcoin is holding up. And 6,400, I mean, is it even going to get back to that 5,800? I'm feeling good about it. Listen, it might go. I originally... Back in January, I was thinking this thing would be at 5,000 and go below. We would maybe see a 3,000 for a minute. I'm not really sure that's going to happen anymore. Where can I put my face that I don't bother everybody? How about that? So, and also just for a minute about this New York Stock Exchange news. There's a lot of questions of what is it going to be? Some people have said, well, it's going to be a walled garden. You send them money. They say, oh, you own Bitcoin, but you don't really own it. They have some in a pool. They issue more paper against Bitcoin that they own. You can't withdraw the Bitcoin and put it on your own wallet, and it's not real. That's sort of the most negative case story of what it is that they're building. If they do that, I don't think it'll work well because I think Bitcoin does well because of what it is. You have control of your money and all that. But still, even if it's the worst case scenario, I think it means the New York Stock Exchange is going to be owning some Bitcoin. I think that's good. So I think it's good news no matter what. And I'm going to do a video about where I think the financial world is going. That's another topic. But for now, Bitcoin is still my favorite. As I said, it should be at least 50% of your portfolio. If you didn't get out of shit coins into Bitcoin before, it's a little painful to do it right now. But, and I got to say, I haven't put any money in this new money, since I think October of last year was the last time I put some money in. And I think I'm going to put a little bit more in right now. Because I think especially if there's a little bit of a washout, I think I'm liking the way this is looking. Ethereum just broke below. I think 395 was its. It dropped. We'll look at its chart. So yeah, it hit a low. Here was its first low. It wasn't even that low. Then it hit this. It says 378. I thought 395 was the low. And we are now back, we're below this. So unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum is going down, has gone down more from its peak. But I still love Ethereum. I believe that the scaling is coming, but the scaling is not here. And the applications, Augur, the only one that has launched, I shouldn't say the only, there's a lot of things launched on Ethereum, but one that was maybe going to be an application that people really use. This Augur predictions, global market, great, but guess what? There's just not that much activity on it. You've got a lot of people betting on, will the price of Ethereum exceed 500? That's kind of boring. That's just financial markets. We have that everywhere. These are the ones that are getting some volume, but not much. The ones that are fun, like, I guess there's this, will O-Chain, that's sort of a unique bet. But not a lot of volume on it, not much interest. I think there was Donald Trump, will he win a Nobel Peace Prize? These sort of silly bets or weird things, are where we thought maybe we'd see some value here, but there's very low volume. So I don't think that this Augur, so I think Ethereum, I love it long term. I'm holding. I wouldn't sell any. And also, you're going to get some free Cosmos tokens. This Cosmos looks interesting. The, what's his name? CZ, I don't remember what his name is, from Binance, the guy who runs Binance, talking about how he thinks platforms, he doesn't really believe in Ethereum or EOS. He thinks something like Cosmos, where you can have very specific platforms for decentralized apps. In other words, you want to do an app for this, then use this blockchain. You want to do an app for that, use this blockchain. And Cosmos is trying to build a consensus algorithm for different specific blockchains. That's a whole nother topic. What was my point? Oh, so if you own Ethereum, you're going to get into the Cosmos, which I think is a potential competitor against Ethereum. EOS, so EOS launched and it's decentralized. You know, for those of you who have been watching me for a while, you know my metrics. I don't waste my time with anything until it's at least launched and proves it can be decentralized. I think if EOS is there, so now the question is, how's the adoption rate? And hey, listen, they have $4 billion. People are investing. You know, they certainly got money there to try to get applications to work. I think there's people working on it. It's hard to know what's really going on and what applications may launch and if any will be successful or when. But they have the money. The platform seems to be working. My only concern also is I don't know. I don't get it. And because I don't get it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means I don't get it. There have been plenty of great things that I didn't get in time. And so I'm trying to, by get, I mean understand. I'm not sure I understand, you know, where is the value in the token? Like, I understand, obviously I understand Bitcoin, the value incentivizes the miners to secure the network. Ethereum's kind of the same thing. It's a little different with the gas, but I kind of get it. It's traditional with mining. Now we've got, with EOS, you've got voting and staking, and now you're buying RAM, and, you know, and their constitution is going to be rewritten, and like, I don't, like, what, so the point is, because for a lot of these tokens, you got to be, like OX, I think, is the perfect example of this for me. I think the OX protocol is great. It's getting a lot of adoption. I hear only good things about it. People are building on it. Things are launching. OX protocol looks great, but does the token have any value? I don't know. There's a lot of tokens. You know, it's just a utility token, and maybe it has value, but not a lot. Like, I love OX, but I don't yet see why I should buy the token. So is it possible that we would have that situation with EOS? I don't know, and I almost wouldn't think so, because these are all big money guys getting into it. So EOS probably is now looking good. It's now something that I might be interested in. People, I told you and all this shit. Like, it's fine. I'm not trying to be the first into everything. I just don't want to fuck up, pardon my French. I don't want to buy things that go to zero. I'd rather be a little late and right than early and wrong. So, you know, in EOS, and that price keeps looking better. I think under $5. I might nibble on it. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't like investing things that I don't understand. But I'm going to study more. I like that EOS is going down. Bitcoin Cash, I've had many videos. Maybe you've seen, you know, I do believe, and I've always believed, that Bitcoin Cash will go to zero. I think, my timing on it has been quite wrong. It clearly is not at zero yet. But I also love looking at it versus Bitcoin. You know, it's under the 0.1. And falling steadily for a while. I don't know what momentum brings it back to life. I mean, I think Bitcoin Cash is on an asymptote to zero because on-chain scaling is a myth. I think all the excitement in scaling is on second layers. There's so much going on with second layers. And Bitcoin Cash will probably eventually change direction and say, oh, yeah, we always wanted to do second layer. But, you know, they're so far behind. And also the team, it's a bit of a cuckoo show. It's a, you know, they're a little cray. Some of the Bitcoin Cash people. No, and I get myself in trouble when I say that, but it's not for me. Not for me. Ethereum Classic is another one of these. You know, I just don't believe in these tiny forks. You know, it's like you have Ethereum where you got Vitalik Buterin and Joseph Putin and Vlad Zamfir, you know, the who's who of intellectually math genius protocol developers. And then 10% of the team takes off to have a tiny, little competitor. How can they possibly compete? I just don't see it. Nevertheless, it's one of these things, blockchains do not die easily. And now you have Coinbase saying that they'll support it. I mean, just allow people to trade it because it's easy for them. And so that gives it some momentum. So this thing dwindles on. Ethereum and Litecoin, so Litecoin, I think, does have a little bit of a purpose. The analogy I've given, I should look up what actual fish this is, but there's I think there's a shark that swims, and then there's these tiny fish that swim around the teeth of the shark and eat its crumbs, and they both live together happy. The shark is happy to have the little fish cleaning its teeth. The little teeth is happy. The little fish are happy to get the scraps from the shark, and they live together happily. But if you can choose who to be, I'd rather be the shark, right? So Bitcoin's the shark, Litecoin's the little fish in the teeth. So I wouldn't waste my time with Litecoin. But that being said, I don't think it's going away. I think it does serve a little bit of a purpose, like the little fish and the shark teeth. Ethereum Classic, I'm not sure what purpose it serves at all. But then again, it doesn't look like it's going to zero. So like Litecoin, I think it's something that hangs around for a long time. Probably not the most exciting. Maybe you make some money in it. I don't know, but not for me. XRP, listen, I've been, should I move my face here? I'm covering up. I don't know where to put it, but so my most watched video, Stellar versus Ripple, where at the time Ripple's market cap was 10 times higher than Stellar's, but now it is getting close. Oh, I wanted to do. Is this in order? No, I want this in order of market cap. So Ripple was 10 times higher than Stellar. Let's see where we're at now. I mean, I think the flippening is coming. So now it's 13 billion versus Stellar. I wish it would stick with market cap. Stellar is 4 billion, 413. So now it's 4 times higher market cap. I do believe a flippening is coming. XRP. So I think Ripple as a company serves a purpose and will probably be around. Maybe you'll make good money. Maybe if you're an equity holder in the company Ripple, you would do well. I don't know that much about it, but it seems fine. The token itself, I don't know. It's not one that I put on my list. I said, it's going to zero, but I just don't. I don't see its use case much. Certainly not compared to Stellar. And the bottom line for me is you have these two are very similar. Obviously, both created. I understand. Jed McCaleb co-created it with Ripple with I forget the gentleman's name, but anyways. But to me, I think Jed McCaleb is sort of the brainchild between this model, and the bottom line is Jed believed, which I agree, decentralized, open, free, owned by nobody is the one that can be adopted much wider than the for-profit, closed system. As far as being decentralized, I think they're both sort of decentralized. But anyways, Stellar. Where am I? Before I get to Stellar, let's talk about XRP. Talk about price destruction. XRP Ripple taking it on the chin here, or XRP. Let's see here. Remember again where I talked about the lows for Bitcoin bounced 3 times off of its 5,800, whereas I'm not sure where these lows even match up, but you can see Ripple has broken down all the way down now 34 cents. It's at all-time lows, whereas Bitcoin is still above its 5,800, which was the floor it was bouncing off. Ripple falling down far below its lows. I think we're going back. I remember last year when it was sitting at 20 cents for the longest time. I think we're going back there. It probably sits there for a while. For those of you in Ripple, my condolences. And so where were we? Stellar. I'll tell you what. You know, I think I almost, well, I want to make a video about this. I'm sort of excited, but I shouldn't even make a video because I don't like making predictions. But last year at the Ripple, I don't think it was a coincidence that at the Ripple, what do they call their show? They're having Bill Clinton speak, which is, to me, is the funniest thing. Bill Clinton speaking on it's supposed to be all about trust, and you have Bill Clinton as your speaker. Ripple, the Swell Conference. They're having Bill Clinton speaking. I hope that wasn't like, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it was like a joke, right? To be funny that they would have Bill Clinton speaking, and I fell for it and think it's true. Let's just, President Bill Clinton. No. Yes, no, it's true. He is speaking. I even think it was a joke. It's so silly to me. We're trying to introduce trust, and your spokesperson is Bill Clinton. Listen, I'm not even saying without the politics aside and as a president, and I'm not saying he's a bad president, but when you think of trust, I mean, Bill Clinton? I'm not sure. They're not selling me with that one. So anyways, but last year at Swell, I don't think it's a coincidence that the day that Swell was beginning, Stellar announced their deal with IBM, which, obviously was huge. Stellar went up 100% that day. We have some announcements we've been waiting on with Stellar. I mean, Jesse Lund from IBM saying a central bank will be launching this year. We've got this new exchange coming, Stellar. What's the name of the exchange coming? It's going to be free trading, made by the guy. I don't have all my notes in front of me. Without notes, I'm a disaster here. I can't remember anybody's names or anything. But Stellar, there's a new exchange coming out, which will have supposedly free trades. It looks awesome. They've got a lot of things coming. Also, I got to say, with this New York Stock Exchange deal with Bitcoin, what is NASDAQ doing? There's an announcement coming there. NASDAQ, there's sort of been rumors NASDAQ supports Stellar. I thought it was sort of a surprise that Stellar was approved. Who was it? Is it ItBit got approved to trade Stellar in New York City? Like, something I think is brewing, and maybe that announcement comes at the Ripples on the day of the Ripple Swell, and they want to steal Swell's lunch again. So we'll see. That's a lot of speculation, but I think so Stellar's price has been holding up. It's low. It's bounced a few times off of 18 cents. Let's see that. Yeah, 18. So remember, with Ripple, we were sort of going straight down. We're at new lows. Whereas Stellar, we are above at the low of the 18 that we've hit a few times. Did I just see a 17 here? I watch the market so much I hardly ever miss a price. I guess it went below 18 cents for a minute here. We're holding up. Listen, with all these things, I mean, I don't know. It could go lower. My original predictions in January was that I thought we'd be bouncing more in the teens and with Stellar, and I thought we would see, like, there'll be a day when we see 8 cents for a minute. But I kind of don't think that's the case anymore. And as we get closer, I think as fall, as November, there's a lot of things, sort of coming in the fall, in November. I don't know that this downturn can keep going through November and December. So we're getting near the end here. We'll see. My love for Stellar is no secret. And we're holding up. 18 is the floor. We'll see what happens. This downturn is pretty strong. If this carries on for a few days, 10% a day adds up pretty quickly, right? A couple more days of these 10% down days. What is that? That's 6 a day. So that means another 10% down. We're back at the 5,800, like tomorrow with another 10% day down, and then we'll see what happens. But if you're dollar cost averaging in, I remember in December telling people, it's like, now's not the time to be buying, right? When it's going to the moon and everybody's all excited. Now, or as I think I was telling another friend, you want to buy when you feel like shit when you buy, and just don't buy too much. And a lot of you who are watching now, maybe you're all, the other thing is, if you have no more gunpowder left, I get it. When I got into Bitcoin originally, I bought, it was at 500 bucks. I bought some. I went to 400. I bought some. Went to 300. I bought some. I went to 200. I bought some. It went below 200, and I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. And I'm out of, like I didn't want to put any more in. Even same with Stellar. I got some at 4 cents, and then it was at 3 cents, and then it was at 2 cents, and then it was at 1 cent, and I was buying. And then I remember when it went below 1 cent, and it was at under a penny, and I was like, I'm out of money here. Not that I was out of money, but I'm out of the amount of money I want to put into this thing. So if you're out of money, again, what matters is that you're right. These are long-term stories, especially financial money stories about money, banking, play out over decades. So if we're right about Bitcoin, this price is nothing. It doesn't matter, and you hold. But if you have more money to put in, and you're waiting for a bottom, don't wait for the bottom. Just you nibble a little bit, and you feel like shit when you buy because it's going down. But just buy a little, and so you hope it goes down, and then you can buy more. And if you're out of ammo and you're just watching for fun and hoping that the bottom comes, that's fine. That's normal. Been there. Okay. Cardano, another one that I predict will go to zero eventually because they're trying to compete. I think, I know the Cardano people will kill me when I say they're sort of directly competing with Ethereum. I think that EOS is a different structure than Ethereum, and I think that the two, those are two different. Cardano, although they claim to be, completely different. And I know the whole argument, and yes, I've listened to Charles Hoskinson speak. Like, I get it. I know. I just don't believe in the Cardano story. But part of their story is that, well, we're going to take a long time because we're doing it right. We're building mission critical, platform and all this stuff. So their story is that it takes a long time. And so I think one problem that a lot of these projects are having is that now they've launched. So they can no longer talk about, oh, it's all going to be magic and unicorns. Now it's actually launched and they have to do something, and it's a problem. Cardano hasn't launched decentralized yet. I don't know when they're going to. And their whole argument is, oh, we're taking a long time, but that's good. So I think they sort of are buying themselves time. And now, I don't know why Coinbase decided to choose Cardano as one of the first, but they did, and that's also good for them. So Cardano, although my opinion of the project hasn't changed, I don't think this one, as far as one going to zero, I think that this one, that's not happening in the near term by any means. But, let's look at how its price has been doing, actually. So, hope you didn't buy at the IPO, right? And then came down. So 15 cents, 13, and now hanging at 12. It certainly is down. We'll see, but I think this thing holds some value for a while, simply because of its story, and it hasn't launched, and people aren't pressuring it to launch. Tron, I'll tell you what, this is one that I did, I was like, okay, this thing is silly, but they did launch something. They did launch something, and then they bought this BitTorrent, which to me is like, okay, they're doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. It's interesting. I don't get the Tron. I don't understand the Tron story. And I don't like it because I don't like that this Justin Sun, he's a bit of a promoter and a bullshitter a little bit, but they do seem to be building something. And the fact that they bought this BitTorrent, even if that doesn't work, it just means at least it's sort of like they're trying. They have things, they're launching, they're doing stuff, right? So maybe there's a story here. Maybe someday I'm gonna sort of get it and be like, oh shoot, I could have bought that at 2 cents. But its price has gotten certainly wiped out. And this is part of it might just be like I hated, this, right? This is because of promotion. Like if this Justin Sun going out and a lot of bullshit made the price go up like retardedly high, and that turns me off. And when I made my video, I made a video. I don't remember if it was at this one or this one where I'm like, okay, I think it was like at this one, and I'm like, this thing is ridiculous and it's not coming back. And you know what? I'm right. It's not going back to the $3, but it might not. Maybe it doesn't go to zero. But the phony bullshit promo show leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So I was maybe, I was pretty negative on it. But now it's sort of like, okay, they're actually maybe doing some things, and I don't know that they're still putting out bullshit stories and promotion. I think it's sort of like Stellar is a great example of, like, there's no marketing. Like, they're not pumping anything. And it's a good project and it goes up. Like, I don't like the bullshit promo. It's sort of like OMG when they did their offering. They're like, well, we only need $15 million. That's all we're going to take. And they didn't do any real, they weren't pumping it. And it just, I don't know. So anyways, I'm not a big Tron fan. Tether, finally it seems the stories of Tether being a scam are going away. I'll take credit for being one of the first to be right about that. Way back, I think that story started January of last year. It was getting big, or maybe even before that. And I said, hey, I think Tether is fine. I think I've been right. And now someone, Freer, is that his name, from the FBI did an investigation. He says it's kind of fine. The problem is they can't get anyone to audit it because the auditors just go like this. I can't. They can't figure it out. They don't want to put their name on it, so they can't really get an audit. But it looks. I have videos about this talking about why it's just too stupid of a scam to do. There's plenty of ways. You want to scam people, there's a million ways to do it. This would be a stupid way for them. And anyways, Binance Coin. I don't think there's a lot of value in the coin. I understand that if you're trading in Binance and you want to sort of go to cash, and there's some argument that this thing holds its value, and I don't know. I don't follow it that closely, but I don't feel that it's a long-term hold, and that's the only thing I'm interested in. IOTA, one of my others, it's going to 0 coins, and I think I'm going to be right. We got a few 20% down days in a row. It's getting back to the prices it was a year ago. That's the other thing I look at is, I remember October like it was yesterday. I remember the price of every coin last October, because I don't know why, October and September. I remember Litecoin was like at 50. I remember IOTA was also in the 50, 60. You know what? I'm talking out of my ass here. Let's see if I'm right before I start bragging about how I remember prices and see if I'm right. Yes, 50, 60. Ooh, and then it went down to 40. But anyways, that's the other metric I look at. Like I said, how Bitcoin bounced 3 times off 5,800. How did the other ones do at those low points? From this again, where were we? IOTA. So, IOTA has been going sort of straight down. I believe that this will be a failed project. And yes, I know they have partnerships. Everyone with it. Do you know they have partnerships? Do you know that? Do you know what a partnership is? It's a fancy word for saying testing. So they have companies testing it. And then most of them they test and then they go, we're not going to use it. That's it. Partnership, schmartnership. You want to see, I ain't buying it. I don't think I don't think it's going to work. Bottom line, and the price, it's getting killed. Let's see here. So, again, remember Bitcoin bounced 3 times up 58. Here they were at $1.60, 98, and now at 63. It's going down, down, down. I don't know how it recovers. Look out below. Monero. I have a video about privacy coins. When it comes to money, when it comes to a coin just trying to be money that can compete with the dollar, I am a Bitcoin maximalist. And all these other coins who think they can be money and they're competing against Bitcoin, they're just an attack on Bitcoin, as far as I'm concerned. And that means Bitcoin Cash and, so privacy coins, but privacy coins, in the long run, it's Bitcoin. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. Eventually, Bitcoin, there'll be ways that you can use your Bitcoin and have privacy. But if you want privacy today, you know, this Monero works. I think that this thing holds some value because if you want some privacy today, you know, maybe Bitcoin isn't the option for you. Eventually it will be, and that hurts Monero in the long run. But in the short run, if you want privacy today, you got Monero. I hear the team is good. I think this thing probably holds some value. So, you know, but I don't buy it because when it comes to money, I'm only buying Bitcoin when it comes to for money. So Ethereum, when it comes to a platform for decentralized applications, I am an Ethereum maximalist. However, I got to say, there's so many things going on. I'm an Ethereum maximalist, meaning that, you know, it's like any platform you want to build for building applications, Ethereum will just adopt whatever else. You know, it's like EOS, well, it's faster. Well, Ethereum will come up with ways to be faster. You know, and there's all these different, but at the same time, you know, you've got EOS has a different structure. Like I mentioned, Cosmos is coming up with a totally different structure. There might not be only one decentralized application platform. I don't know yet. I'm still got all my eggs in the Ethereum basket when it comes to decentralized application platform, but keeping my eyes open, it's not as much of a lock as Bitcoin being the only one for money is. So where were we? And that's why, you know, Dash is trying to compete with Bitcoin. Forget about it, right? I mean, and boy, look at this price gotten wiped out. You know, and Dash, where's their evolution? They were supposed to launch their platform in June. Where is it? And I talked about this in another video. I mean, it's like, so here's their, you know, when Bitcoin bounced 3 times up 5,800, Dash was at 451, 304, now 181. They are in trouble. When they launch this evolution software, if it ever comes, this thing better have bells and whistles coming out of its butt, or it's in big trouble. So I'm not betting on it. But again, people get mad when I say something isn't good. But I keep my eyes open. I'm not religious about this. I'm not emotional about this. If Dash comes out with this evolution platform and it's got all these things and it's like, oh, I'm like, what? I'll change my mind. I'll be a buyer. Like, I'm not, you know, but it is what it is. I'm just, why would you be a believer at this point, right? Because they're late with what they have to deliver. And in the meantime of them being late, Bitcoin launches Lightning Network, which looks awesome. So they've got problems. NEO. This one, I'm sort of changing my view. I originally said it wasn't going to go to 0. Even though I never liked it, I thought, well, it's just a money raise show. It's people who are good at raising money. And so they probably won't go to 0 because they'll keep figuring out ways to scam money out of people. But I'm changing my mind. I think they will run out of ways to scam money out of people, and it will go to 0. You know, we're seeing its price also get destroyed to 22. I remember when I made my video, the video that put me on the map. I remember when I first started my channel, I didn't realize how religious people get about their investments. And so NEO was at $50 right after the IPO. And I said, NEO, do not buy NEO. And boy, did people get mad at me. So to see this at 50% off of its price when I said don't buy it a year ago. And that video, I mean, it's like 100 thumbs down I got in like 5 minutes. I was very excited about it. I was shocked, but I thought it was hilarious. And I've learned how to talk down coins without being as offensive. Although if you're listening to this video, you're probably saying, wow, what is this? I can't believe this guy says this stuff. But believe me, I used to be even worse a year ago. I've gotten a little bit nicer. But NEO, it is not decentralized. It is not going to be decentralized. And they don't, it's just, I don't think it's, when it comes to this, you know, I don't know. For me, this whole industry, it's about decentralization. It's about elimination of trust. It's not about just raising money. Like, raising money people have done for thousands of years. Whatever. Yeah, people have always been raising money. That's not that exciting. NEO's just raising money using new technology. But it doesn't have the cool stuff. It doesn't eliminate trust, and it doesn't decentralize anything. So, and they're sort of trying to pretend they are. They're trying to pretend they're like Ethereum, and that bothers me. If they were just honest about it, that would be another thing. Like, oh, we help you raise money, you know, and whatever. I don't know. So I'm not a believer, and so their chart is pretty different here. I guess this was, so they're the 82, and then 47, and now 24. And the reason I changed my mind is because a money rate, you know, you're good at raising money until you're not, until the gig is up, right? And I think people who are in it just for the money and not for the, you know, the decentralization or the dream or the platform, once the money's clearly gone, they're going to get out of there. I mean, I think it's just going to get, I think this thing will be deserted. And I also thought it was funny, you know, one of the scams that Neo was pushing is, oh, we're Chinese government. The Chinese government is going to use us. And there was some announcement, the Chinese government, there was some area, and they're using Ethereum in consensus. People are like, I can't believe they didn't use Neo. Why do you know, just because Da Hongfei said, oh, I think the Chinese government would use us in order to pump the price, you know, but he doesn't have any credibility. There was never, Chinese government has never been involved with Neo. They don't give a crap about Neo. And Neo is not the next Chinese, not the Chinese Ethereum. So, you know, take cover. Where were we? Look out below. What else do we have? I talked about OX, right? And there were a couple others I wanted to talk about. Oh, so OMG. OMG, I've got a history with them. Oh, God, OMG. You know, I was like, I made a video a while back. It was like at $8, and I'm like, I should just get out of this thing. It's going to take them forever to build what they want to build. I don't like buying things that I launched, but I did buy a tiny bit of OMG, and it's just been one of these stupid things that I bought something before it's, you know, way too early. Where is OMG? I mean, it's so small that I can't even scroll to it now. OMG. Hello. There we go. So OMG, you know, a decentralized exchange, and then credit card processing. What I think the future is that you have savings which you keep safely in your tokens. Your checking account is you send some money to some app on your phone, and you've got a bunch of different tokens. You may have Bitcoin, Ethereum, shitcoin, ABC. You may have your digital Google stock, right? And then you go to the store, and they're like, okay, it's $32, and they want dollars. And you say, okay, take $10 from my Google stock and take $2 from Bitcoin, whatever. Take $10 from Google stock and 20 from Bitcoin, and the bill's $30. Hit the button. It immediately sells those, converts them to dollars, and sends it over. And OMG is sort of building that sort of thing. I don't think they'll be the only ones building it, and I don't know when they'll ever launch, and I do see ways they can kind of get volume, but this is a long story. And, you know, I got in a little early. So where are we? We're looking at, I want to see this in dollars. So, you know, I made a video. Yeah, I made a video right here. I was like, maybe I should sell it and just get it into Bitcoin now, you know. And then I thought, you know what? But we are going to get Cosmos. They're built, and the Cosmos coins, I'm not claiming I totally understand what's going on with this Cosmos, but I do want to be in on it. And you're getting some Cosmos, you're getting if you have Ethereum, you're getting some Cosmos tokens, but those are different than the ones you're going to get for OMG. Without getting into all the details, I think the Ethereum Cosmos tokens are, for the main consensus, I think are more valuable than, I think there's going to be one sort of exchange blockchain on the Cosmos platform, and you'll get your Cosmos tokens from holding OMG. But I don't know if it was worth anyway. So then I decided not to sell it because I'll wait for my Cosmos tokens, which I thought were coming much sooner. Like, where are they? And then the thing went up to 19 here, and I was gritting my teeth thinking, oh, I should just trade this into fucking Bitcoin right now. But it's not a lot of money, and I'm like, So I held it. Oh. I'm not a trader, but occasionally things come around that like seem like a no-brainer. It seemed like a no-brainer. I didn't do it, and now I'm feeling the pain, right? It's all the way down to $4. This is a low. I mean, not since the ICO has it been this low. Now, I do like it long term. I don't know. I don't like to buy things till they launch. This thing ain't launching anytime soon. I'm talking about a real exchange. And the other thing is, when I say launch, decentralized, and I don't count exchanges with no volume. There's a lot of people that launch an exchange and there's no volume on it. OMG may launch the exchange and there's no volume. So, and I'm not saying they won't get volume eventually. And I'm not saying I don't like OMG. I like the team. I like it long run. But I don't like to buy shit that's years away from launching. And that might be the case with OMG. Another one to talk about here was Augur. I don't know if this 40-minute video. Is anyone still watching? Wake up. Augur. So, Augur, one of the first big apps to launch on Ethereum. It's cool. It works. Blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Has it launched? Yes. Is it decentralized? Yes. How's the adoption rate? Shitty. Did I talk about this? I don't think so, right? Maybe I did at the beginning when I was talking about Ethereum because I'm on this page. I think I talked about it already. If not, whatever. We'll talk. I mean, the adoption rate shitty. You can do your own research. Storage. I've also talked about storage. I have a teeny bit of this thing, and I'm watching it closely. I like storage for a number of reasons. Now let's look at its price. Been pretty flat, and if you look at, I mean, it just hasn't had that. If we can let's get rid of that. It came down pretty hard from here, obviously, but I think this is interesting. In these last few weeks, when everything's been plummeting, it's been going up. And they are, so storage, a decentralized hosting platform. For some reason in the news, you always hear about Filecoin, but storage has been around longer, much bigger. You also hear about Siacoin, which has its problems. Storage seems to be the leader, as far as I can see, for decentralized storage. For some reason, the media never talks about it. I don't know why. And maybe they're just one of these companies that they don't do that much marketing promo. I don't know. But to me, for the decentralized storage market where you can just take extra space in your hard drive and loan it out and get paid for letting people to store shards of encrypted stuff on your computer, they seem to be a leader. They're rewriting their whole application. They stopped taking on new customers. So they got way bigger than everybody else, stopped taking on new customers, still bigger than everyone else. They're going to relaunch with this new system, and I think it might be going up because it's looking good. And they said they have some exciting announcements coming. They're at their keynote at some event, maybe it's DevCon 4 or something. I can't remember. Exciting announcement coming the end of August. I might add to my position on this. I'm not sure yet. I need to investigate a little bit more. But storage could be cool. Is that it, ladies and gentlemen? I think so. So I think that's all. Wow, long video. I haven't been on videos too often, and these videos where I don't do much research and I just ramble are a lot of fun. I think it's more valuable when I do a video where I do a lot of research and talk about things, one topic in depth. But I find that people actually love the more shallow analysis that you have in this video, where we just kind of go through everything. So let me know your questions, your thoughts. And for those of you who got mad because I criticized your favorite shitcoin, I'm sorry. Let's not get emotional. No offense. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. But lately, when it comes to crypto, I feel like I can see around corners. And I'm surfing this wave. I rode that last little wave pretty good. I'm on my board. And I think I'm paddling out. Paddling out now, getting ready for the next wave. Right? See you on the beach.